All right. You are listening to Clay Douglas, the Free American, and I've been doing this radio shows like this for many, many years, at least 20 years. I started in about 1994, along with the Free American magazine, which was on the stands, on the newsstands for 10 years, up until 2004. In 2004, after what had happened at 9/11, after we started finding out what FEMA was going to become, and FEMA rolled into Homeland Security or vice versa, a couple of things that I'm not able to tell you. Hard to tell you whether the government took over the mafia or if the mafia took over the government. We have a criminal government operating here. We've got our congressman sold out to the banksters, in my opinion. Neither the Republicans or the Democrats care about you. You are simply peons now. Relegated to a position of servitude. They've improved the art, could we say, art of slavery to the point that the slaves don't know they're slaves. And this is the importance of what I've done for the last many years. I interviewed Jack McLamb back at the Preparedness Expos, filmed him at the Preparedness Expos while he was trying to get this information and urge other officers and law enforcement officers and military men to support the Constitution. The work that Jack has done and the work that I've done is probably the best thing that we could do for you. Because what we are trying to do is bring you information, let you know that this is a criminal operation that we're facing. Now, if you want to call in, it's been a lot of years since I've actually been active. Still on my website, freeamerican.com. You can go to my website. You can listen to any of my shows. Click on the name of my guest. Everything's archived. But if you'd like to call in and ask some questions, The call-in number here is 866-582-9933. I was on shortwave for many years. But with Homeland Security rolled in, the efforts to neutralize me, and the fact that in my true face of FEMA, I filmed the first Homeland Security meeting, got Colonel John Brinker telling law enforcement what it was going to be like 10 years in the future. That's now. That's now. And what we predicted, what I predicted, what we told you NAFTA was going to become, what we told you FEMA was going to become 10 or 15 years ago, that's happening now. That's happening now. And again, we are trying to bring you this information now. But yeah, you didn't have much of a choice in any of the last elections. Two wings of the same bird, and the bird's global vulture. We're getting you the truth though. Tune in to me at freeamerican.com. Have new guests every day. Take calls 866-582-9933.
Hello? Congratulations. For what? For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast? ASAP. ASAP what? What's that mean? Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as short as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible? I'm listening. Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success. I've got to know more. Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss cancer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserve, makes them available to be burned as fuel, and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices, or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203.
Well, tonight we're going to talk about some ancient mysteries and parallel dimensions with none other than Graham Hancock, his latest work, Entangled. Get ready for that. Coast to Coast State.
When natural disaster strikes and the water supply is shut off, you will panic because you have a CWR emergency water filter. CWR Environmental has been supplying emergency water filters worldwide for over 25 years. The difference? CWR water filters are portable, easy to set up, and exceptional at removing bacteria, parasites, sediment, and many harmful contaminants, including chlorine and harmful microorganisms. Plus, they are NSF certified to assure performance. CWR emergency water filters can produce thousands of gallons of safe drinking water from any water source, and come with a 5-year warranty and money-back guarantee. For a limited time, the filters are specially priced with free shipping. Call now, 800-444-3563. That's 800-444-3563. Or go to CWRsurvival.com. That's CWRsurvival.com. CWR emergency water filters. Drinking water you can trust for when you need it most. CWRsurvival.com. License ready! And with the MRE Smorgasbord at LongLifeFood.com. In 1983, Long Life Food Depot was one of the first to sell MRE pouches to the public, and we're still selling them almost 30 years later. Today, Long Life Food Depot has the world's most complete MRE online buffet, because MREs are all we do. Tasty varieties of chicken, beef, salmon, and pasta entrees, plus sandwiches and our easy-to-use pouches. Full moisture, long shelf life, and ready to eat hot or cold. We sell by the pouch or case, so the choices are endless, and so are the graduated quantity discounts. The more you buy, the more you save. Call 800-601-2833 or go to longlifefood.com to join our email list for upcoming announcements, like the roll-away food pod. Plus, enjoy fast and free shipping. Just call 800-601-2833 or visit longlifefood.com. Emergency preparedness, emergency relief. longlifefood.com since 1983, sending real food to your real future. Oh, my aching back. I've got to get some relief for my arthritis. When arthritis pain rears its ugly head, rub on Smooth Gator for 60-second pain relief. Smooth Gator provides topical relief from head to toe and everywhere in between to stop pain fast. Smooth Gator is made with all natural oils, including wintergreen, aloe vera, and eucalyptus in a safe, non-greasy formula. Rub Smooth Gator on your neck, back, legs, knees, hands, any muscle or joint where pain from arthritis, sprains, strains, or backache needs fast 60-second pain relief. Smooth Gator can also be used for allergies, sinuses, fibromyalgia, and rheumatoid arthritis. In the time it took to listen to this message, you could have had relief with Smooth Gator, the 60-second pain relief. Go to smoothgator.com or phone 727-278-3137. Call 727-278-3137 or click smoothgator.com. The 60-second pain relief.
And now, the Officer Jack McLamb program on GCN Radio.
Johnny, Satan, ancient of the years. Johnny, Satan, smugglers have no fear. Texas DA running lawless lives. White House water boy spreading lies. Push appointed weasel works for the current fell. Him and his associates will burn in hell. Johnny, Satan, ancient of the years. Johnny, Satan, smugglers have no fear. Oh, Johnny boy, don't wrong right. Since he graduated from Blonde High, facing old King George's knees, white girl, Johnny was a drug lord to please. Johnny, Satan, ancient of the years. Johnny, Satan, smugglers have no fear. A baseball player who never got a hit. Too crazy things about the lawn and Matty was convict. The Texas four along with Workman and Stripes, with Mexico telling them who else you shouldn't date. Johnny, Satan, ancient of the years. Johnny, never let the bumpers get right. Smugglers have no fear. Now he's in the hunt, he's lying through his teeth. Refuses to show every time the Congress meets. Should he run or lie? He can't decide which before he takes nacho cell and becomes a prison bitch. Johnny, Satan, ancient of the years. Johnny, Satan, smugglers have no fear. Now what you heard seems like a bad dream, but it's real life to the families he's raised. If you doubt this story before you waste your breath, just Google Johnny Sutton in the House of Death. I talked with two congressmen who say there is a conspiracy by the Bush administration to destroy the sovereignty of our borders. Congressman Dana Roosevelt.
All right. All right. Still got a little bit of music there in the background. All right. I am Clay Douglas here. I have been doing this a long time, and I am sitting in for Jack today. Be glad to do that anytime for him. What we are doing here, bringing you information, it's been not the first. Benjamin Franklin was a writer, a publisher, and I just ran across this from John Swinton. Now, John Swinton was the one of America's best loved newspapermen, called by his peers dean of his profession. In 1880 at a banquet in his honor. 1880. This was a different country than you would think. Before the Federal Reserve took over and corrupted America and communized America. John Swinton said, there is no such thing at this date of the world's history, 1880, in America as an independent press. You know it and I know it. There is not one of you who dares write your honest opinions, and if you did, you know beforehand it would never appear in print. I'm paid weekly for keeping my honest opinions out of the paper I'm connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for similar things, and any of you who would be so foolish as to write honest opinions would be out on the streets looking for another job. If I allowed my honest opinions to appear in one issue of my paper before 24 hours, my occupation would be gone. The business of the journalist is to destroy the truth, to be outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn and defeat of mammon, to sell his country and his race for his daily bread. You know it, and I know it. And what folly is this, toasting an independent press? We are the tools and vassals of rich men behind the scenes. We are jumping jacks. They pull the strings and we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes. That was John Swinton. He died in 1901. But, folks, what is happening now is since that time they've solidified their hold. The Zionist-dominated media has had 100 years, pretty much, to manufacture consent for wars, for operations, whatever it is. One way they do this is by trying to make the public applaud a command, just as Pavlov trains his dogs to salivate on command. The media mind controllers have been manufacturing synthetic public applause, synthetic laughter, ever since an American sound engineer, Charlie Douglas, invented the laugh track in the early 1950s. Whenever Big Brother's mouthpiece fails to get the audience to cheer or laugh at the right moment, a sound engineer inserts a laugh track or applause track in hopes the people watching at home will join in the cheering and the hilarity. The mind controllers know that people tend to cheer when other people cheer and laugh when other people laugh. Folks, this is what I've been telling you. I mean, I've told you this for as long as I've been doing this. I told when we were organizing the militia, training the militia, I said the first thing you should do is take your gun, clean it, load it, and shoot that TV, and you'll be a lot better off. But that is a mind control tool, and it's feeding you propaganda. That's why the Palestinians are always the bad guy, the Arabs are always the bad guy, because they want to take us into war with it. The same way they took us into war with the Germans when the Germans were the bad guys. And we were in a Cold War for 50 years, and the Cold War wasn't. The Russian people were not our enemy. The Zionist-dominated media, Western media, has been working overtime for more than a decade to manufacture public consent to the 9/11 triggered war on Islam, the destruction of constitutional liberties, and the gradual transition to a totally controlled, surveilled, microchip society. They want us to cheer for lies, more lies, and unfreedom, and to boo the truth. Oh, you're conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. Oh, you're a racist. And, folks, we've tracked back a lot of these trolls that are hitting us on the chat rooms and on the internet. A lot of them go back to Israel. Now, this cry of anti-Semitism is merely a distraction. It takes you away from examining the criminals that are maybe living like Mark Rich in a safe country where they can be extradited here. In a country, by the way, which has 400 nuclear weapons, and Iran doesn't have any, we're being moved into this war. And the mind controllers, unfortunately for them, people are increasingly cheering for the truth, cheering for peace, cheering for resistance to Zionism. They are no longer acting like a pack of Pavlov's dogs. The media mind controllers are losing their audience thanks to networks like Genesis, lots of hosts like Jack McLamb, and I have to claim a little bit of credit for that too. Ron Paul was a subscriber to the Free American for over 10 years. The Free American was published for over 10 years until a setup accident almost killed me, took me out of the picture, and I've spent the last 8 years refining my books. FreeAmerican.com, check it out. We'll be back in a few minutes. I am Clay Douglas. Nice to be back in the swing of things. Nice to be talking to you.
Weakened by GMOs, stressed out about money, and blasted by the electric environment. Hi, I'm Pastor Jenny, and that was the state I was in back in 2010. Then I learned about DNA draw. I learned that 97% of my DNA that scientists have called junk is actually packed with millions of gene switches that play a critical role in controlling how my cells, organs, and other tissues behave. I learned I don't have to put up with disease or killer decline like I've been conditioned to believe. I began taking RNA draw, a 100% natural formula designed to turn on your switches and provide you with amazing health and joy. Learn more about RNA drops and order a free sample today. Visit rnafreesample.com. That's rnafreesample.com. Or access free 888-577-3703. Pay only shipping and handling for free 30-day supply of RNA drops. Get the information you need and how to be marked at rnafreesample.com.
Food storage? Check. Survival tools? Check. Weapons and water filters? Check. What about a permanent source of cooking power that can run forever without buying fuel or paying for maintenance? Introducing Afterburner Stove. Home of the real patented rocket stove, the Kelly Kettle, and the stove. Afterburner has what you need and now offers all GCM listeners a complete preparedness package with the means to cook meals and sanitize water. When you dig in or bug out, cook almost any meal with just a handful of sticks. We already have the lowest online prices guaranteed. But if you enter coupon code GCN at checkout, we'll knock off an additional 15% and send you our amazing 6-hour solar rechargeable light bulb absolutely free. All for only $249. Visit AfterburnerStoves.com or call 866-716-5214. 866-716-5214. AfterburnerStoves.com. Cook hot meals with just a handful of sticks.
You land in Buenos Aires, then are shuttled to Santa Rosa, where a nice famous cabin with all amenities. 1 o'clock, executive meeting 1, and laundry service awaits. After a good night's sleep, your adventure begins. You're on a golden stag safari. But it's not Africa, it's Argentina. One-on-one guided hunts for water buffalo, cougar, bighorn rams, wild boar, and the biggest stag deer in South America. All gold medal quality. All the action you can handle. Land Rovers, top rental guns with scopes. All food, beverage, and hunting guides, grand transportation included, and more. All more affordable than you can imagine. The adventure of a lifetime starts at GoldenStagSafaris.com. It's a genuine hunting ranch. GoldenStagSafaris.com.
Don't throw away leftovers. Instead, throw all your leftovers, vegetable peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, pizza crust, and more into the bokashi. If you love to garden and compost but don't like the hassle of turning the compost good or the smell, then check out the EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System from Organics. Finally, a way to recycle all your food and plant waste safely and effectively and stop using fertilizers. The EM Bokashi Food Waste Recycling System. Rather than decomposition, the Bokashi system uses fermentation to break down waste, so it takes less time to create nutrient-dense humus for crops or gardens, with no churning and no obnoxious odors. To learn more and order your Bokashi online, visit Terraganics.com and click on the orange button. That's Terraganics.com, spelled Terraganics.com, or call 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Recycle all your food waste in about 6 weeks with the Bokashi Food Waste Recycling recycling system, Caravanics.com. Caravanics. Life's getting better.
And now, here's Officer Jeff McLamb on ETN.
Ain't it a frightening feeling when you're behind the wheel and you're feeling there? Or when you're rounding the corner and you're stuck there behind you in your rear. If you for a friend or a public defender, you can on the TV screen. Or just a mayor with power, get a big every hour, the American dream. Watch out for martial law. When he's out there watching after. If you can look at things, you'll be that wearing gangster, the collector of the revenue. Watch out for martial law. And if you're failing me, you better not run. Just read your newspaper, study some of your papers. It's dangerous when you think that's got the way dangerous when you think it's
All right. I appreciate Jack asking me, inviting me to sit in for him tonight. I am Clay Douglas. I am the Free American. And I really haven't stopped at all, although it, in some ways it appears that the magazine is not out now because times are changing. We have a powerful tool, and you're listening to me on it now. We used to broadcast on shortwave, and now we broadcast on the internet, and millions of people around the world are able to hear our words and hear common sense and truth. Truth that it's the banksters here that are profiting off of war. They fund both sides. We think they tell us we've got a choice here. Oh, you can vote for Democrat or you can vote Republican, but I've got my career now spans pissing off 4 presidents. I blew the whistle on George Bush Sr. for his drug running operation. I blew the whistle on Bill Clinton, who was in on that drug running operation in charge of keeping state boys off a little place called Mena, Arkansas. And Bush Jr. gave us a 9/11. Come on, folks. I referred to it as an exaggerated case of Jewish lightning, and they tried to kill me over that, folks. That could have been the Mossad, because I've got to line something out to you. To me, I took an oath when I was 17 years old to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Some of those domestic enemies are people like Abraham Foxman or Morris Dees from Southern Property Law, Abraham Foxman from the ADL, that try to demonize the natives, try to demonize the patriots, try to demonize the veterans, try to demonize the talk show hosts, and we've gone through the Republicans and the Democrats, and back to the Republicans, back to the Democrats. Now, wait a minute. Nothing's changed. It's still one world government on the plan, and I outlined this in 1994 in the publisher's column of the Free American magazine. You can still see that by going to freeamerican.com. You can listen to any of the shows. I still do the shows 5 days a week. I'd be happy to do them on this network if they would have me. But the advertisers, a lot of the advertisers, and what will happen is as soon as I do a show, the phone will start ringing, and you'll have 3 people telling you, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't have Clay Douglas on, he's anti-Semitic." No, I'm not. Because there are some wonderful Jews that I've had 10,000 of them that I've had on the cover of my magazine that were marching and protesting in New York City, and they were protesting the Zionist state of Israel. I have done the I've been called a racist because I said something about illegals coming up here. But again, it was NAFTA that drove those illegals up here. They sold out, they killed the family farms down in Mexico with NAFTA, and Monsanto and Archer Daniels Midland, the same way they've done it here. They always go after the farmers first. Now, I've been outlining this and detailing this for a number of years, and I don't like being called anti-Semitic. The Constitution lets you do anything. If you want to go beat your head against that wailing wall, knock yourself out. Don't expect me to do it. If you want to stick your nose in the dirt and your ass up in the air a couple of times a day, I might try to keep the dogs off of it. You want to sit there and get on your hands and knees and pray for a Cadillac? Well, I'll put in a good word with God so maybe you don't drop it on top of you. The Constitution allows you to worship any way you want. You want to hug a tree? Go ahead. I might loan you my pair of tweets. Get spluttered. And Aaron Russo was on the cover. He did wonderful work. He happened to be Jewish. Happened to be a friend of mine. I put him on the cover of the Free American. Benjamin Friedman told you what happened in World War II, and how the Zionists came in, how the communists came in. Now, it's these people that don't want you to know, but in closing here, I want to share this with you. This is, it's coming up Christmas here in a week or so. And apparently the White House referred to Christmas trees as holiday trees for the first time this year, which prompted CBS presenter Ben Stein to present this, which I'd like to share with you. And I think it applies just as much to many countries as it does to America. Following was written by Ben Stein. My confession, he says, I am a Jew, and every single one of my ancestors was Jewish, and it does not bother me even a little bit when people call those beautiful, lit up, bejeweled Christmas trees, Christmas trees. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel discriminated against. That's what they are, Christmas trees. Doesn't bother me a bit when people say Merry Christmas to me. I don't think they're slighting me or getting ready to put me in the ghetto. In fact, I kind of like it. It shows that we are all brothers and sisters celebrating this happy time of year. It doesn't bother me at all that there's a manger scene on a display at a key intersection near my beach house in Malibu. If people want a crib, it's just as fine with me as the menorah a few hundred yards away. I don't like getting pushed around for being a Jew, and I don't think Christians like getting pushed around for being Christian. I think people who believe in God are sick and tired of getting pushed around, period. I have no idea where the concept came from that America is an explicit atheist country. I can't find it in the Constitution, and I don't like it being shoved down my throat. Maybe I could put it another way. Where did the idea come from that we should worship celebrities and we aren't allowed to worship God? I guess that's a sign I'm getting old too, but there are a lot of us who are wondering where these celebrities came from and where America we knew went to. In light of the many jokes we send to one another for a laugh, this is a little different. Not intended to be a joke. It's not funny. It's intended to get you thinking. FreeAmerican.com will do the same thing for you. God bless you and have a Merry Christmas and a happy end of the world. It ain't gonna happen. Don't worry.
Good job.